Hi, Gemini. Welcome to your end of February, literally, um, 2023 tarot reading. It's Raina here. Usually I do these way sooner, probably like at least a week or 10 days sooner than this. It was because other things got in the way, I guess. Or I just didn't get around to it. So, it's good though. It doesn't really matter. Any time that you're doing a reading, it can give you a snapshot and the synchronicities that are showing up here. Interesting. Okay. Death and, the death card, they in this particular deck, the Light Seers tarot deck, they follow the word death with rebirth, which is really, I think, a good thing because it helps people to see the true meaning of the death card, which is transformation, and that can include a transformation of a situation. So let's say somebody gets divorced and they're focused on the loss of that marriage, but they're not seeing the gain or the rebirth of their individuality. And so it's all about how we frame things. And so I like that about this deck. Okay. The heart of the matter is the Five of Wands. This can be positive or challenging depending on where you're at, what's going on for you, where your head is at. The Five of Wands, in a positive sense, can be a very spirited work environment where there's a lot of there's a lot of competition, but it's not necessarily toxic where everybody's stepping all over each other. It's like they're bringing their A game, so it causes you to be more, to step up your game yourself. That's a great thing. And even in relationships, the same thing. It's like you're like leveling up. So all of that is happening. Although if you are in a not relationship, if you're dating, this could be like the dating scene, maybe jumping back in after being alone for a while, and it's kind of like jumping into the fray. I was going to say a meat market, but that was like, no, that doesn't sound good. But that kind of thing of like, all's fair in love and war, that kind of attitude. And even, if you're dating someone and they're seeing somebody else and you're trying to catch their eye, those kinds of things. In the past position, we have the Queen of Wands. This can be kind of like the first word that came to my mind is a promotion. But even within yourself, you may feel this sense of, I'm really taking that leadership role. And it might not have anything to do with a job title, but there's like a mentor. You're nurturing others. The queen can be the mother, but it's in the context a lot of times of the workplace or the career. Where you're going career-wise. And so I'm trying to think what has been happening for you. Pisces is your 10th house. Okay, well, you've had Jupiter come through there, and Saturn is going to go into this area shortly in the first week in March, Gemini. So this is all coming together in that sense, and the higher message is the Chariot. So this is about you directing your life. And those in this deck, they have the horses of duality, the black and white horses. And the the driver is in the middle. The driver is not getting caught up in the two warring factions, if you will. So if you've had a lot going on in your life for some reason, this card could really represent that, where you have felt like you've had to kind of keep on an even keel because everything was threatening to kind of spiral out of control, but you did it, and then you reap the rewards of that. And it's also a card connected to Cancer. It can be a card connected to travel, and perhaps that's something in your future. Usually I don't read that as a literal kind of a predictive card or anything like that. To me, this is like the position of the higher message, but it might mean that a person has that sense of achievement or that feeling of success and control over their life because they have left a certain environment that maybe kept them down. And so if you have traveled, it's not just because of the sense of freedom, but that sense of maybe the bigger picture. What crosses you is the Four of Cups. I would, boil this card down to one thing, like in a nutshell, as discontentment, not feeling satisfied. So, I feel like, because when I look at what card is coming up for you, what is coming in is the King of Cups. Now, this can involve counseling. This can involve, getting counseling, whether it's with a psychologist or, traditional therapist, whether a marriage counselor, a spiritual advisor, whether it's the traditional priest, pastor, or a Reiki master, I don't know, somebody who's an energy reader, something like that, maybe an astrologer, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. But this individual, it's funny because they have like a fish around their neck, so I assume it's associated with Pisces, but it's the highest representation of the water element, which means that it's emotionally mature. Rather than somebody who is manipulating a situation. Now, if you are actually involved with someone, maybe even getting divorced from them who is a water sign, so a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, you may have been, the Four of Cups may have been this sense of either you being like, dissatisfied in that relationship, or they are dragging you down with their dissatisfaction. So the top three cards I see is rather dynamic. So it really speaks to me about career matters. What might be happening is that you are doing gangbusters on your career, but your partner is acting like they're down in the dumps. And sometimes this happens, and the other person will say, God, right when I'm getting successful, now my partner has decided to become bluesy. I think that they are against me and they don't want me to succeed. It's easy to kind of jump to that conclusion. Now, maybe there are some situations where that's true. And somebody is a narcissist, whether they're a covert narcissist, a malignant narcissist, where another person is experiencing good things happening to them, and they take that as something that they are losing within themselves. Like they're not getting the same attention. It makes them feel inferior because their career is stalling out, or they're unemployed even. something like that, and then they feel bad about themselves, and so they are trying to thwart the other person. But sometimes it's simply that the other person, it just highlights the fact that they're not happy with their life. So also, if you have experienced career success, that might raise your vibration. And then you look at your personal relationship and you say, this is just not cutting it. It's like you want to improve every area of your life because you do not want to be dragged down. So that can speak to, you know, being in that state of changing things. And the outcome is the Death card, which also they say rebirth, and they have that sideways 8, which is the symbol for infinity, because it's just a constant, you know, going back and forth, you know, between the two of these. So it's all about learning how to gracefully enter and exit these transitional periods of your life. Usually, you know, Gemini people are very comfortable with the idea of change, but if you have inner planets in Taurus, which is a fixed sign, or Cancer, which is a sign that can be quite tenacious emotionally, this can be harder for you to navigate. So just keep that in mind, but embracing change for sure. Okay, that's what I have for you, Gemini. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I'm primarily an astrologer, and I am promoting my double astrology readings, called my deep dive readings, because it's an hour of natal chart analysis and an hour of transits for a special price. And I do have one with the tarot called the whole enchilada that you can learn about as well. I have standalone readings. Thanks for watching, and take care.